Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Kim and I am Barbara's daughter. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today to see what I am stitching and what I've been up to. It's been about a month since I filmed a regular Flosstube video, so I have actually a lot of things to share with you today, and I hope you enjoyed the video I posted 2 weekends ago, which was my kitted projects that I have not yet started. And I actually, in my plans later, we'll talk about which of those I'm going to try and start next or soon. Based on the comments, it was actually pretty surprising to me which pieces most people were saying I should start. So that was a lot of fun to see all of your comments and thoughts on which projects I should start next. The video that I did prior to that, which was my last regular Flosstube, I had a giveaway, so I want to go ahead and announce the winners for that first before I forget and move on to other things. So I'm giving away the Star Spangled Ornaments book from Fat Quarter Shop, which is actually fully finished, that I have to show you today. And this book is going to go to Lone Star Donna, which hopefully I'm putting your comment up here so you can see it. If that is you, please contact me at the email address that is in the description box below, and I will mail this booklet out to you. And the other giveaway that I had was for the Stitching with the Housewives, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Looks like this. And the winner of this pattern is Arlene G. So again, contact me at the email address listed in the description box below, and I will get you this pattern. Thank you so much for participating in my giveaway, and we will, I'm sure, have more of those in the future. I like to I'm probably not going to stitch most patterns more than once. Some I save, but it's nice to give patterns away to people who will use them, because I think otherwise they'd just be sitting in my files back here of patterns and not getting much use. So I'm going to move on to fully finished objects, and the first one that I have is the Star Spangled Ornaments. So as I'm talking, I'm just going to start holding them up. I stitched these on the called for 25 count Lori Holt fabric, but in a different color than is called for. So let me see what they call for. Pebble. They call for Pebble, which is more of a gray color. I did these in oatmeal. So I really actually enjoyed stitching on the 25 count more than I thought I would, with 2 strands of thread. And then after I stitched them all, I went ahead and finished them in the tart tins that I purchased from Fat Quarter Shop. So I also had purchased the circles just to make life easier and not to have to cut circles out. So I purchased these circles that have like a sticky back to them. And so what I did is I put a circle, I peeled off the paper so that I had the sticky side exposed. And then I put a piece of batting and stuck that there because I wanted it to not be quite so flat. I wanted a little bit of batting in there. So I stuck the batting on, and then I went ahead and gathered this fabric around that circle, and then I just glued them with a glue gun into these tins. I used my new Ryobi glue gun. It was very exciting. And I added, they had like twine up here, and I cut that all out before I added in the cross stitch piece. And I just put this little red, white, and blue ribbon there, and then red and blue bows with the white stars. I just alternated. So I was really happy to get all of those finished. I think that having the Flosstube channel is a little bit motivating in a sense that I don't feel pressure to get things done to show you, but I'm like, oh, I finished those last time. I want to have them fully finished so I can show everyone. And so it's nice to like have a reason to like come down here and finish things. And I really got it done pretty quickly yesterday. So that was an easy finish. I definitely want to do the other ornaments. I have the Valentine's Day ones. I definitely want to do those. And I I have to look at the Christmas ones again because I'm not sure. Like the first time I looked at them, I was like, oh, I don't know if I like these particular patterns that much. But then I saw them online somewhere and I was like, oh, those are cute. The other thing I was thinking of doing was maybe pick some of Lori Holt's stitch cards and do those in without the border and make that into a circle ornament for Christmas ones. But these patriotic ornaments, I think I'm going to have on a tree at Christmas time. That's going to be like patriotic in theme. So that was my one fully finished. And then I have 3 framed pieces that I just recently managed. I got the frames right before we went on vacation. So I just this week framed them. And so I'm just going to pause here and go grab those frames. So the frames I bought, I can't remember off the top of my head the website I used, but I will put it down below as I'm talking. And I used, they had like a 40% off code for 4th of July. So I ordered a bunch of frames and I really liked the price was great because it was 40% off and they were very quick in getting here, and I liked the quality of the frame. Some of them are like actual wood and some of them are like a plasticky, kind of looks like wood but it's plastic, but I knew that when I ordered them. And my cross stitch is like mostly just for me, so it doesn't bother me if it's not like this beautiful expensive $100 wood frame. Like I just want to get as many things up on my wall as possible. So you can see there's like not a lot hanging up here behind me, and I have some more wall space over here. I'm hoping this weekend to get some things up on the wall down here because I have some things that my mom made me and some things that I made that I want to hang down here specifically. And one of those things is this, which is a hands-on design pattern. Now she does it like a chalkboard series where all the text is white and it's stitched on black fabric, and I flipped that around and did black text on a I believe this is a vintage country mocha, and in 36 count. And I have, this is the stitchy one. I have the quilting one too. So I have the exact same frame. I purchased 2 frames. So I want to work on the quilting one and then hang them like near each other down here. So I framed that. I just, I have to put paper on the back of this. So I'll just show you, I laced this and then I have some, a tool to stick these, I don't even know what they're called, the little black things that hold your pictures into your frame. I have a tool to like shoot those like brads into the frame. So that's how I frame. Now, a couple of these that I'm going to show you next are big, and I actually ended up pinning some of those rather than lacing. So that was just what seemed to work out best. This next picture is red brick sampler, brick house sampler it's called. And I made a lot of changes to this pattern. I will put the pattern up here so you can kind of see it. I definitely just the biggest thing I think I did was I took out boxes here. They were like green boxes that had I think they have animals in them, and I didn't want to stitch that, so I took them out and I added flowers down here instead. And there were other changes that I made in what was actually on here, like smaller ones, but that was the major difference. I used floss from my stash for this, not the called for, and the brick house is a Victorian motto thread, I know that. This is stitched on 36 count, picture this plus ale. It took me a long time to stitch this, mostly because I just put it down and didn't pick it up again. And so I'm really happy that this is done, and the frame is really pretty. I'm not sure how well you can see it, but I really like the frame. This is one that is actually wood, and I just laced this, and actually, you know what I think I did with this one is I laced the short sides together. But then I was very concerned about the grass not being straight. So I pinned that with the intention of like pinning it and then lacing it. And then when I was done pinning it, I was like, I don't need to lace this, it's fine. So the top and the bottom are pinned and the 2 sides are laced. So that's how that went. And the last picture that I framed, I have no idea what this is called, so I'm going to put it down at the bottom and maybe put a picture here of what the pattern looks like. But I stitched this in 2019, and I did this on 32 count, and it's just an even weave, and it's not, I don't think it's a hand-dyed fabric. I think it's just like, you know, ivory or ecru or something. And I used Flush from my stash for this, and I really liked this. Someone else did this, a Flosstuber that I was watching at that point. I don't know who it was, but they did it as, you know, an anniversary sampler, and so that's kind of what I did too. I put the year we got married and my initials up here and my husband's initials over there. So this has just been sitting in my drawer since 2019 because it's a weird size. So I was never gonna find, like, in Hobby Lobby or Michael's, a frame that was this size, and I really wanted to frame it. So I pinned all 4 sides of this and put it in this frame, and that's what that looks like up close. And this frame actually came in pieces, and you just kind of assemble it with these little plastic, I don't know if I can show you, like these little plastic things come and you just stick them into the holes and it just sticks the frame together. So that was, I guess because it's so long, it's just easier for them to mail it in pieces rather than assembled. So, so those are my fully finishes, and I'm going to just take a second to clear off my table and get my starts and my whips out, and I'll be right back. All right, so I showed you my fully finished items, but I forgot to show you my finishes. I had a couple of those. And the first one is a couple of weeks ago, I was watching Liz from Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, and she showed it on her Instagram page too, how she did this freebie pattern. I think it's by Teresa Kogut, and it is just called Create. I think it's called Create. I will put the link for that pattern in the description box below, and it was done, I think, for like a needlework market or an expo or something like that a couple years ago. And when Teresa designed it, it was just, you know, I don't know if it had particular colors on it. Let me see, I think I have the pattern here. Yeah, so it has brown, gray, and pink. And I had actually started this pattern back when it came out, and I never finished it. I just kind of like, I don't really like it. I don't know why. And then Liz, and I think she got the idea from someone else. I don't remember who, but she saw that someone had done it like in a rainbow. So the C-R-E-A-T-E, it's all like a different color of the rainbow. And I like that. I liked how she did that. So I did the same thing, and I did this on a 36 count ice blue Edinburgh Zweigert linen. I think you can probably see it, the colors better back here. So it says create every day, and I just did like very pastel colors. These are all Victorian motto colors. And I just absolutely love the way this came out. I'm not sure how well you can see the actual colors. They're pretty pale, but I love the way this came out. I actually have another fabric and set of colors that I'm going to do the same pattern in, because I have, hold on, I will show you what I'm going to do with them. Sorry for all the stops and starts. It's been a month since I did this, so I don't have everything laid out right. So I am making this sewing space station, and I'm not using it for a sewing machine. I just thought it'd be really good to like have if you were going cross stitching somewhere. And actually someone made a very good point in a comment on the video when I showed this the first time, that if the sewing machine isn't sitting on here, this might make it actually heavy and like fall off the table. So I definitely, that's fantastic. Thank you for mentioning that. I can't remember who said that, but brilliant thought that I didn't think of. So I might like put some weights up in the top so that doesn't happen. I'm gonna have to like test it out and see. But anyway, long story short, Imagine this with no sewing machine. So you're looking at the entire piece of fabric up here. I am going to put this in the, patchwork it into the fabric that I'm using for the top. So you will see this on the top of the sewing mat as you're looking at it. So I have 2 sets of fabrics that I want to make, because I want to make 2 of these sewing stations. And by the way, I will also link the pattern for that sewing station in the comments or description box below. So in addition to the pastel colors on the blue, I'm also doing it in bright colors on this scrap of fabric that I don't know what it is. It's a 36 count, but I don't know the design, the dyer or the color, but I'm just going to do these bright colors on it because I have a pastel set of fabrics and a bright set of fabrics for these these sewing stations that I'm gonna do. So I finished the one, and now I have to go back and stitch the second one. And then at that point, I can start making the sewing station itself. So that's where I am on this. This was like a start and a finish. I did it on vacation. And so I'm just gonna move that out of the way here. The next finish I had was also a start and a finish. I was very excited to start the Beach Boardwalk series by Country Cottage Needleworks. And the first one is the ice cream shop. And I got that right before I left for vacation, and I stitched it. Actually took me a lot longer than I thought it was gonna take. It's very small, but it's a lot of stitching for the amount of space it takes up. So I got this fabric from Barefoot Needle Arts, and it is a 36 count. I don't know the color right now, but the rest of it's in my haul that I'm going to show you later. So I will, the tag's still on that, so I will tell you what color it is. And so Barefoot Needle Arts is a cross-stitch shop down in Murrells Inlet, which is near where we were staying in Myrtle Beach. So I went down and I knew I wanted like a sand color for this. They use more of a gray, and I just wanted something a little different. So I did the ice cream shop, and I really like how that came out. The next one in this series is the surf shop, and I just got that pattern a couple days ago. Just trying to get it out of the bag here. And you're supposed to just, you know, if you're stitching them together, just not leave any spaces and just go on to the next one. But I have to see what the flag situation is up there, because you notice those flags start and end with like the dark blue. And I think that one does too. So I might fiddle around with the flags a little bit as I go across and do all 7. So I might end up like not doing any more of the flags till I have all the pieces in. This is released once a month, I think. So they won't all be out until December. Actually, maybe it's like, there's 7 of them. Yeah, once a month, I guess. So I really enjoyed stitching on that, and I got that finished, which was nice. And I had a couple other starts that are not finishes, but I will show you the progress that I have made on them. The first one is My Home in the Garden by Hello from Liz Matthews. Hello from Liz Matthews, yep. And this pattern, I saw Lauren, the New Hampshire stitcher, do it in DMC colors, and I thought it looked great. It calls for Gloriana silk or the DMC. And when I saw hers, I was like, that's it. I'm just gonna do it in DMC because it looks great. So this is my start. I have done a row of flowers and a row of letters, and that basically repeats, as you can see. So I have another row of flowers and letters, and then a third row of flowers and letters. So, and then the house row at the bottom. So I really like the way that's coming out. I like the colors. I'm enjoying stitching on that. This is being stitched on 36 count. Oh, and I don't know what color this is. I don't think I saved that anywhere. Let's see. Sometimes I pull the tag off and stick it on here, but I don't see it here. So I don't know the color. It is a bit yellowish, and I think that this was, I think this was a Picture This Plus, but I don't know what color it is. So that is My Home in the Garden by Liz Matthews. And the other start that I had, which is, it was a start and a fail basically, is Miss Christmas Eve by Mirabilia. I've had this in my stash a long time and I have wanted to start it. And so it was Jolly July, so I thought, okay, I'm gonna start this. I had a 32 count, which was what it was called for. This is a Wexford linen by Silk Weaver, and it's called Sand Dune. And I got to start on her like headpiece up there and her hair. And the colors are beautiful, but I'm holding it as close as I can reach. I don't know how well you can see, but it's very crowded. And the color of this fabric is perfect. Back here is more like the actual color. It's a slight bit lighter and less yellowy than the fabric in the picture. So I really love the fabric color, but I had only stitched, you know, I mean, maybe that's 100 stitches, but especially when I went to do the red where it was like dense in there, I just knew that I was not going to enjoy the look of this. It was going to just pull my fabric and it was too tight. So I decided to go find some 28 count fabric. So I did find at Barefoot Needle Arts, it's a similar color, not exactly the same, but pretty close. This is Sand and it's 28 count. So I have not yet restarted this, but that is on the list of things to do, is to restart this on my new piece of fabric. So that was like a start and a fail, but you know, it was good to figure it out so that I know, okay, I want a new piece of fabric and I got it, and we can move on from there and hopefully be more successful with the other fabric. So then I have, whoops, just put this, trying to keep things organized here. So I worked on my floral motif sampler by the Scarlet House. Looks like this. And this could totally be done by now if I would just sit down and work on it all the way, like for a lengthy period of time. But the problem is I just work on things for like a day or two and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna work on something else. So I really am getting the feeling like I wanna finish up this one, and there's another one I'm gonna show you that I feel like are close enough that I could finish these in the next month or so. And I'd really like to do that. So I have definitely passed the halfway mark, which is like about here. And this is being stitched on Driftwood by Silk Weaver, and it's a 36 count. And this last time that I worked on this, I stitched all these little flowers up here, and I think this guy here, and I can't remember if I have shown it to you since I did some down here and put the ear in. I think I did show it to you. So I think it's mostly been up there the past 2 days that I've been working. So again, this probably goes out to like about here. I feel like I could just concentrate on this and get it done. So I'd like to do that because it's a big project. I'd like to kind of clear out some of my big projects so I can start new big projects. So that is Floral Motif Sampler. The other one that is in the same boat as that one, where I feel like this one's actually closer to a finish, I think, is the Blue Flower Huckleberry Farm. I am doing this on the called for 36 count Picture This Plus Shale, and I'm using the called for colors as well, but I did change the color of the house. They have a yellow house and I changed mine to just use like an aqua color that is called for in the piece, but just not for the house. So I have gotten to the point where I can see the end in sight. So the last time I worked on this, I did these two, no, take that back. I did these two, and I did this little sloth, and I did the whole alphabet and the thing around the alphabet. And so I need to bring down the border here and then fill in all the flowers and berries and birds and stuff. And then at the bottom, I have this row with the lady and the animals here to do left. So again, this is one that I feel like I could get done sooner than later if I just stick with it. So part of me is like, well, just stitch on those two things, alternate between these two. And that sounds like a great plan, but knowing me, I don't know. I might do that for like a week or so. We'll see. You will find out next time how I do with getting these two pieces done. Something else I worked on, which is not near a finish, is Blackbird Designs Humming of the Bees. And I really only worked on this for like a day, maybe 2 days right before vacation. I wasn't bringing it with me on vacation, so I knew that, you know, I had already packed all my stitching for vacation, so I just grabbed this because it was something that wasn't going with me and I could work on it. So I had been working on the house in here, and I just continued that. Here's where I am. This is on 36 count, picture this plus fawn. And I actually tried to place it where there wasn't quite as much like dark modeling. So I just have been filling in the bricks here. And so it's a big house. I have to do one more set of like windows and doors, and then it goes down to about here, and then it's done. And then there's not much underneath the house. It's a couple bands, but then I have the stuff on the sides that I have to do on both sides. So this is kind of a small sampler for a Blackbird sampler, which is nice. And I love stitching anything Blackbird, so I'm enjoying stitching on this. And like I said, only worked a little bit on that last time. Another thing that I only worked on for a day, actually I think it was 2 days, is my Haid. And I'm just going to grab my book because I wrote down what percentage I was at and how many stitches I have done and all that stuff. So one moment, please. Okay, so for my Haid, it is Farewell to Anger, and I will put a picture here of what it's going to look like when it's done. And if I can find a picture from my previous videos, I haven't worked on this in a while, so it'll be going back a couple videos, but I'll show you where I was previously on the Haid. And this is where I am now. I really only worked on it for 2 additional days, and you can see I have all my strings here hanging. This is like a tree here, the very dark black. So I am at 3.05%. I have done 2,339 stitches. That does not look like that many stitches, but it is. And I really enjoy stitching on this. It's very, to me, it's like calming to stitch on this. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I feel like I'm never going to get this done, so it doesn't, there's no pressure. And I shouldn't say never. I mean, I definitely could get this done. It's just a matter of like not anytime soon. So my goal right now is just work on it like every 2 weeks for like 2 or 3 days, so that I have, you know, a little bit of progress and I keep moving it forward. But I just really enjoy it. And yeah, I was gonna work on that a little bit more yesterday, but then I got involved with the floral motif sampler, and so I just started working on that one instead. Another whip that I have is the Brown Bird Biscornu. Looks like this. And I had previously, I think, shown you that I finished the first half, which is the bird. The birds. And that's the front. And then on the back, you have what you can see in the middle picture there. So I've been working on that, but there's definitely a mistake somewhere in it. And because it's supposed to be symmetrical, I can't figure out where the mistake is, but I don't want to go any further till I figure it out. So I have a feeling that that blue border, that 1-stitch border, is off somewhere. Like I didn't stitch enough stitches. It met though. That's the weird piece, is like it met But I cannot figure out, if that's not the problem, what the problem is. So it was kind of in timeout for a while. I have to take another look at it and see if I can figure out exactly where the mistake is so that I can fix it. Because I would like to do the back of it. Part of me was like, oh, I'll just get a piece of linen and stitch that blue box so I can make the biscorno and not even have any stitching on the bottom, because who sees the bottom anyway? But I've never done a biscorno before, and I kind of wanted to do it. I like the stitching on the back. So I think I'm just gonna like try and figure out what the mistake is and see if I can fix it. And we'll go from there. So that is all for my whips. I'm gonna go to my plans next and then just show my haul at the end, because I have something right here in front of me to show you for my plans, so might as well get that done first. So as I said, Huckleberry Farm and Floral Motif Sampler are probably what I want to concentrate on. I don't want to say the most, but like I definitely want to work on those so that I can get them closer to a finish, because they're two big pieces and they're 3/4 done, and I should just like bang them out and be done with them, right? When I did my video on kitted up projects and I said, vote for what you think I should finish or start start next, I was so surprised because so many people picked the hands-on design laundry series, and that was just not on my radar as something that people would be like, oh, you definitely should start that. And not everyone did, but like a lot of people did, enough that I was like reading through comments and I noticed that a lot of people picked that. So I have done one of these, the Never Ending Cycle, and what I did was I switched the colors. So let me see if I can find the pattern for this one to show you. I have the other two patterns here to show you, but I don't know if I have that pattern. No, I don't think I do. But let me show you, the colors are the same in all three patterns. So this is the one that's called Loads of Fun. And see how it's like aqua and like a kind of yellow green color? Well, I did mine with red and teal because that's more like what is in my laundry room. My laundry room is painted like a teal color, and I just like those colors better. So I really loved how that came out, and I have to do two more. And now, of course, I have misplaced my other pattern. So 1 second. Okay, so I have to do Loads of Fun and Irony. And these are actually like super small. I'm doing them on 36 count. And it is, let me see if my fabric has a tag. I don't know the color of this fabric, so. No, I don't think I have a tag anywhere. I'm just looking on my previous patterns and stuff. No, I don't think I do. So I'm not sure what color it is, but it's like a gray, it's like a grayish, gray beige color. And so I think what I want to do is do the Loads of Fun first, but we'll see, whichever one I feel like I'm in the mood for. And I have all the colors that I used in the first one, which I'll just tell you are for the aqua is Weeks Capri. I have an antique yellow, which I didn't have to use on the first one, but I might have to use on the second one for the clothespins. My red that I'm using is Cherry Pie by Victorian Motto. So the antique yellow was also Victorian Motto. My dark brown is Espresso Bean by Gentle Arts. And I have a lighter brown that's Straw Hat by Classic Colorworks. And then I also have a chalk, which is my white by Classic Colorworks, or by Gentle Arts, and Victorian Motto Rock Cliffs, which is like a dark gray. So those are the colors that I pulled to do all of these. And so I think I'm gonna try and start the next one sometime over the next few weeks, in addition to working on those other big projects, like I said. And of course, I also want to work on the next in the Beach Boardwalk series, the Surf Shop, because I'd like to kind of keep up with that. So those are my plans. Obviously, a plan is really just a guess at what you're going to do. So who knows what I will actually do, but that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do, at least for today. I'm gonna grab my haul and I'll be right back to show you that. So as I mentioned before, when I was on vacation, I went to Barefoot Needle Arts, which is a cross-stitch store in Murrells Inlet, South Carolina. And I really love to go to cross-stitch stores. Of course, it's so much nicer to pick things out, especially fabric, in person rather than, you know, ordering it online and hoping you know what it's gonna look like. So I had purchased this fabric for Beach Boardwalk. This is my other half of it. And I thought I had attached to this the color, but all along it's been in my bag. I knew I saved it. This was a trunk show by Atomic Ranch Fabrics, which I have never stitched on before. I really liked stitching on this when I did Beach Boardwalk. And this color here is called Golden Harvest. So it's a 36 count. And I just got I had to get a half yard because I'm doing the Beach Boardwalk all 7 in a row. So it was just longer than a fat quarter would be. So this is a really nice fabric to stitch on. And I have another fat quarter left for other projects in the future, so that's great. I also bought fabric for Pandemic, which I didn't bring down here to show you. That's my mistake, but I will bring it next time or when I start Pandemic. So I have some Silks For You red silk that I had paired with a fabric that I just wasn't in love with, but it was a fat half of fabric. I don't have a lot of fat halves of fabric, and you need that for Pandemic, even on a 36 count. So when I was at Barefoot Needle Arts, I found a fabric I liked better. So I got a half yard of that, and that's kitted up, but it's upstairs. So we're gonna skip that for now and go to things that I do have here in front of me, and I will show you that fabric next time. So this fabric is a another Atomic Ranch fabric, and it's called Wild Mint. And I got this because I also bought this pattern, Christmas Star by Cottage Garden Samplings. And I bought the floss to go with it. But the thing with the floss, let me just pull it out. So this is the green and the red. And I'm not doing a very good job of holding this up. While you could certainly use this green and this red for a Christmas tree and Santa's suit, I want something like a little brighter. So I have got to go and find some other colors to use for the tree and his suit, because I just want it to be like more like what the picture looks like. This floss that I have doesn't look like that. So I got that pattern and the fabric and the floss and everything, and I just need to kind of kit it up with like a different green and a different red. All right, other patterns I got. I have for years seen this pattern and thought, I don't know if I'd do that, but I keep looking at it going, maybe I should buy that. And so finally I just bought it. It's like, yep, I don't know if I'm gonna stitch it. I like it. I don't like the words. Away we ride till it's darkest pitch to find the home of the wicked witch. I don't know why I don't like the words. There's nothing wrong with the words, but I could do it without the words. I don't know. We'll see. But I have it. So I also bought the Prairie Schooler 2023 Santa. And I got the hands-on design. This is like a newer pattern from them. It's some ornaments. Oh Christmas tree. Oh Christmas 3, not Oh Christmas Tree. I just really like the colors she used in those. So I have those ornaments that hopefully I can get done for this year. We'll see how it goes. And then the last pattern that I bought was one I had seen on the Highway Stitcher, Colette's channel. And I think she is the one who was showing this. And I couldn't find this on 123 Stitch, so they happen to have it in the store. This is Bent Creek look for the beauty. And I just really like that. So I got that pattern too. So that was my haul from Barefoot Needle Arts, and really the only haul that I have this time. And I'm just gonna double check my list and make sure I talked about everything I wanted to talk about. I think so. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and put away all of the mess that I've made at the table in front of me, and I'm gonna spend the rest of my Saturday doing some stitching after I edit and post this video. So we will see what exactly I get started on, but I will be back in a couple weeks to show you more progress. And until then, happy stitching.